Right, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to look for a very common academic construction beginning with it. First of all, we need to know where to look, so the place I recommend is Sketch Engine. If you do Sketch Engine, a Google search for this, the top hit will be this one, Sketch Engine Open Corpora. These are collections of texts. Let's make that a bit bigger, there we are. The one I'm interested in now is this one, British Academic Written English Corpus, which you can find out more information about here, but in brief it's a collection of essays and other assignments written by students at British universities. So we can search these for to see how students use particular words or particular grammar. I'm not sure what you'll see when you first open this page, but probably something like this. So these three links, if you click on them, they open or close different windows. The two which are quite useful are text types and query types. Just very briefly for text types, the collection is divided into different disciplines, so these are arts and humanities, LS is life sciences, PS is physical sciences, SS is social sciences, and the levels is like year 1, year 2, year 3. So you could restrict your search to particular areas. We won't worry about that too much for now. You could also, for example, if you're interested in business, just stick to business, but I won't do that for now. Let's get rid of that. There are different query types. The one we're going to look at is CQL, because this is the most powerful one. Make it a bit bigger. So I won't teach you, I mean it takes a while to learn this. I'll just give you the query that you can put in and tell you what it means. So when we're searching for something, we have to put it in these inverted commas speech marks, and because it's on Word I can just put words that I want to look at. So the first bit's it, so I'm looking for all, every time it occurs. Then I'm looking for a tag, so each word is given a tag which says whether it's a verb or a noun or adjective or whatever. In this case I'm interested in modal verbs. Sometimes modal verbs come in there, so that's can, could, may, must, etc. This, I don't want just modal verbs, sometimes they come, sometimes not, so they're optional. That's what the question mark does. What is more important is the verb to be. So this tells it to look for every time we see the verb to be. So it could be is, was, been, etc. And so what we've got so far is it is, or it was, or it may be, it could be. I want an adjective next, but sometimes there's other words in between the adjectives, so just to make a gap I do this. Maybe there's up to 2 words in between, so it is not very important. That's 2 words, not and very, after it is and before important. Finally, the adjective JJ is the code for adjective. This dot just means anything that comes after that. Actually that's the wrong one, I want a star. And there we are. If you're intrigued about what these codes are, the tag set summary is here. You can open it in a new window. It tells you what they all are. So like I said, JJ is general adjective. Sometimes JJR, I want a comparative as well, might be relevant. The verbs went down a bit. So I've looked for all of these, VB, VBO, be, were, was, being, etc. Now that should work. So what I do then is click on Make Concordance. And it tells me, just to explain briefly what this all means, it tells me there's 7,849 hits. We've got some ones it is important to... Okay, we're not going to look at every single line. If we did want to look at a broader context, we could click on that, and apparently nothing happens, but it does. Let's just do that again. If I go there, it will show me the sentence and the other sentences around it. Anyway, like I was saying, we don't want to look at every single line because that would take all day. Instead, we could get a kind of summary of what's in there by clicking on, under frequency you've got node forms. This will tell me which ones are most frequent. There we are, that's quite nice. So like we saw in the lesson, some of these we've seen already, it is important, it's possible. Some we haven't, so you might be able to add them to the list. As well, maybe just a couple of other things that are important. So it is important. If you click on P, you'll get all the examples. So here we've got 481 examples. You might notice that it is important to, most of the time, sometimes it is important that. And sometimes we get a for. It is important for somebody to do something. So that's kind of interesting. You might, if you're interested in really going in depth into this, you could find out which verbs occur here. So is it important to understand, is that common or not? We can find that out by looking here, collocations. It's going to work. Here we are. Okay. Again, I won't go into great detail. Feel free to ask me, but I'm interested in words to the right, so the words after the adjective. So I put one here. Don't worry about the other things, and just make a candidate list. So the words, the verbs here, they're pretty much all verbs. Probably some, yeah, there's some other words, how. But the verbs which come next most commonly are it is important to note or to remember, to consider, to understand. You might be intrigued to know, why is bear here? It's not the animal bear, it's a verb. I imagine it's bear in mind. Yeah. It's important to bear in mind that. So at any stage we just go back. Let's go back. There we are, and back again. Back here at it is important to, it is important that. Let's go back one more. So you can have a look at these, see if any of them could be added to the group. So it is important, to is more common, but it does occur with that. It is a possible, I'm not sure about. Let's just have a quick look. Well, it looks from here that it is possible to is more common than it is possible that, but not much more common. And you can have a look at some of these other ones. Okay, I think that's probably enough for now. Do let me know if you have any questions.